The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. And on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are more than welcome and encouraged to comment. And thanks to our friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We are coast to coast across the United States into 12 million additional households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, welcoming you all to the show. It's primary day in West Virginia, Alan J.C. Did you know that?
Yes, I did, Gary, and a lot of heavy voting going on there today, and most of it's going towards the senator from New York, Hillary Clinton.
Now, how do you know that? They haven't counted the vote yet.
Just a bit of inkling. A little poller told me that.
A little poller, huh? Well, remember Dr. Russ Jeffrey, who is a regular contributor to this show, the news director at WACK?
Yes, I do.
He wrote a poem that is only apropos for today. And so that we do not waste this opportunity, I'm going to become a reader of poetry. Now, for those of you who are old beatniks when I'm through reading, or while I'm reading, if you like what I'm saying, you're supposed to go like this. Okay, here we go. It's primary day in Western VA. But many might say, what the hey? It seems like 4 years of political hot air. And at this point in time, just how many really care? Candidates line up trying to persuade their plan and their thoughts are the only way. After months and months on the political trail, many are wondering if we should just all bail. The words have been many and sometimes quite fancy, but in the end, nothing's more than just dancy. Will it be Clinton? Will it be Obama? Maybe it's time to call for my mama. What to do on this primary day? Many just wonder if gas will be covered by their pay. Now there's a real issue that's pressing the nation, but instead the candidates seem concerned about their latest facial creation. Obama is young and Clinton likes pantsuits. McCain seems sidelined, counting his loot. Will he have enough money for the White House run, or will he look for dollars from his retirement fund? It's primary day in Western VA, but what kind of spin will we have at the end of the day? Clinton says she has the nomination, while Obama is looking for his inauguration. Tomorrow will bring the start of a new day, and the pundits will begin to have their say. The right and the left will all attitudinize. That's a word I've never used. Maybe they should just be institutionalized. It's primary day. But what does that mean? In the end, it's simply another day to let off some steam. If you live in West Virginia, go out and vote, but be sure you choose the appropriate dope. Just my 2 cents, Dr. Russ. And that's all we're going to do in terms of discussing
a thing of beauty, Gary. It's a thing of beauty.
Get a dictionary. Did I mispronounce that word? Attitudinize. Is there such a word? Attitudinize. Well, people thought it was nice. Don't burst my bubble. Americans own over 2 billion pieces of high-tech electronics and discard millions of tons of waste each year. That's just in the United States. The Wall Street Journal called electronic waste the world's fastest growing and potentially most dangerous waste problem. Yet, even the most environmentally conscious consumers often don't consider the toxic chemicals that go into their computers or the lasting damage of a discarded cell phone. High-tech trash, digital devices, hidden toxins, and human health by Elizabeth Grossman is the first comprehensive global investigation of what is now being called e-waste. Deep within every electronic device lie dangerous materials like lead and mercury, which have been linked to cancer and learning disabilities. probably Alzheimer's as well. Grossman is our guest today. We welcome Elizabeth Grossman to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. You with us, Elizabeth?
Yes, yes. There's a little gap in the line so that I wasn't sure I was fully hooked in, but I am here, and thank you so much for having me.
Listen, none of us are fully sure we're hooked in, you know? Are we really here, or is it a figment of somebody's imagination? Anyway, let me ask you, what happens when I take those mercury batteries and I say, I'm not going to recycle them, I'm going to toss them into the trash receptacle? Why not? It's a tiny little thing. It's not going to affect the environment. It's not going to affect my health. What happens when I take my computer, which lasts for 2 years, and then it's already outdated and not working, and I toss it into the trash can? What happens with all that stuff, and how is that adversely affecting our environment and our health?
Well, what happens with the batteries is a little different than what happens with the computer, but if you put a big old-fashioned computer, a desktop unit with the big curvy screen and the big monitor in a landfill, what eventually would happen is that unit would break, and one of the things that is likely to happen if your computer monitor and all of the other pieces that make up the circuit boards, if that stuff breaks in a landfill, what the computer will release into the landfill and eventually into the rest of the environment, to the soil, groundwater, and air, will be some lead, some cadmium. There may be some mercury, depending on how the equipment was made. There'll be other heavy metals. There's a lot of plastic involved, obviously, in electronics, and those plastics, when they're exposed to the environment, if they should happen to burn in an open environment, they release chemicals that are extremely hazardous over the long term, and you just really don't want these things being broken up and released into the environment like that.
Benny Mack is writing a text in our virtual auditorium that basically we're leaking carcinogenics into the environment.
You know, I have to say I'm having a really hard time hearing you. I missed what you said because it was all fuzzy.